Hello, Happy New Year. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through Canada visa refusals. If you've been refused a Canada visa in the past, don't worry, don't think too much about it. I know it's devastating, but it's not the end of the world. So you get to see case studies in this particular video on people who had been refused, where they reached out to me, how I advised them to follow up on their refusals, and how they eventually got their visas approved. So let us first of all discuss the GCMS notes. I know Canada had indicated that they are going to be giving you comments on what happened or transpired in your application on the letter that is uploaded to your application portal. However, this is not always the case across everybody. So you might still need to apply for the GCMS note. For the benefit of doubt, for those who don't know what GCMS note is, it's the visa officer's comments on your application that is usually not reflected on the generic letter that you upload or download from your portal. Let us go through these letters quickly so that you get to see some examples. Here you have the letter for this particular applicant saying, I am not satisfied that you leave Canada based on your assets and financial situations are insufficient to support the stated purpose of travel for yourself, and two, the purpose of your visit to Canada is not consistent with a temporary stay. And then we look at another person's own. You see, it says here the proposed length of stay in Canada is inconsistent with a temporary stay, given the details that the person had provided in the application. Then it says your current employment situation does not show that you are financially established in your country of residence. And it says the purpose of your visit is also not consistent. This person has a lot listed. The assets and financial situation are insufficient as well. While this is not bad in and of itself, usually when they just give one line of assets and financial situation and you know what you did in your application, you can always go there, apply yourself, reapply yourself, and address all these concerns. But most of all these comments look generic because they look similar across different applicants, except for this last one I read that has some added levels or on their refusals. So the GCMS notes is like a game changer because it gives you the notes that this visa officer made. And we're going to read two GCMS notes as case studies in this particular video. And then you see what happened. And then I'll tell you what I had recommended that the person had done and how they're able to address this particular issue. And it worked out for them. Based on my own personal experience, I said, okay, this is what I would have done differently in your application. So let us quickly jump into it and see these GCMS notes that we're talking about. For the first applicant, we're going to read here. It says, taking the applicant's plan of studies into account, the applicant does not appear to be sufficiently well established that the proposed studies would be a reasonable expense. Two, given the family ties or economic motives to remain in Canada, the applicant's incentive to remain in Canada may outweigh their ties back home. Four, weighing the factors, or rather, the applicant's plan of studies appear vague and poorly documented. Now, weighing in these factors and of the application, I am not satisfied that the applicant will depart Canada at the end of the period of their authorized stay. People who are familiar with Canada visa application can pick one or two cues from this refusal without even me having to explain. But I'm going to do that explanation, which is the essence of this video. Number one, you aren't sufficiently established back home such that your proposed study is a reasonable expense. Whether your study is $100,000 and you have paid the money, you've not shown that back home you're secure. What if you sold all your assets? How did you establish your situation back home? What if you sold all your assets to raise that money you used to pay your tuition? Are you gainfully employed? Have you shown that your employment ties you to your home country? That you have sufficient enough assets that will tie you back home, that will compel you to return? Trust me, assets compel people to come back. You have to come back and check in on your assets. That's the reality. Then you look at the next one, the family ties. Let's leave the economic tie because when you're able to establish your employment and then your financial and assets, you sorted out economic ties back home. What about family ties? You're moving with all your family, you're applying in your first application, so you carry everybody and you're going, and you do not have any other tie back home. That's not right. So naturally, if you are married, what I would recommend is your spouse can remain while you apply, and after you've gotten your visa, your spouse can then apply to join you or come and visit you or whatnot. So this is my own personal recommendation. I always say it that you have to be strategic when you're applying. Then the last one is Your plan of study appears vague and poorly documented. I'm a fisherman, and all of a sudden, I want to do law. You've not even shown alignment. You're not able to convince the visa officer that what you're going to study aligns with where you currently are in your life. And we're going to see this in the second applicant's GCMS note. Let's go straight to the second person's GCMS note. Now, this particular person, it says here PA. In this case, the PA means principal applicant. Principal applicant has a bachelor's degree in economics, has been working as a consultant, business development at so and so service, admin manager at security services, dog farm operations manager at Bonnie something something. Principal applicants seeks postgraduate certificate in global business management at Conestoga College with program description. The Global Business Management graduate program provides an internationally focused body of knowledge and skills for individuals interested in extending their business understanding beyond the domestic environment. The curriculum emphasizes the skills and knowledge necessary to operate in different roles within international, cultural, legal, and political context. The visa officer is explaining to you what your program is. You don't even know what your program is. You just chose the program, because if you knew what your program is, then you'll be careful in selecting what program you're going to study. Okay, I did industrial chemistry. All of a sudden, I want to do nursing because I heard that healthcare in Canada works. How does IC or maybe computer science align with nursing? Please choose career alignment. In this space, you've listed so many businesses you're involved in. It's not bad to be involved in several businesses, although the business are not even well aligned. So you can see that the visa officer is highlighting how you're functioning in several roles, but those even roles they're functioning do not have strategic alignments. Then all of a sudden you want to do global business. Meanwhile, you're operating on a domestic level. They have to say those domestic more than once. You use your brain to interpret it that, okay, they're letting me know I'm a domestic person. Okay, even if I'm a domestic person and I need the program to scale to global, how have you been able to tell the visa officer that this is the path and this is the strategy I intend to employ? Nothing of those such was established. So these were the things we were able to correct in his revised SOP and then reapplication. He could have just gone for a Master of Business Administration. Yeah, you do Master of Business Administration. It shows that, okay, you're currently involved in several businesses. Master of an MBA will enable you to be able to align your business together. You can properly establish and align and also explain what it is you're going to study. Let us read the last paragraph. Given the applicant's previous educational history, her motivation to pursue studies in Canada at this point does not seem reasonable. Study plan submitted is general, does not outline a clear career path and goal to which an educational program would be of benefit. I have reviewed the documentation and information provided in this application. I am not satisfied. And as a result, visa refused. So you see, your educational background matters. When you're choosing a career that you want to pursue or a program you want to study, it's not like Nigeria, anything goes. I'm an engineer and all of a sudden I'm doing travel and tours. That's my own case actually. So if I wanted to do anything, I could easily say I'm a business person. I provide logistics and global operations services for companies and firms. There has to be career alignment. There has to be, it's not negotiable. So once you're able to address this, if you're struggling, especially in this age that we have ChatGPT, when you put all of this together, it can help you to draft up an alignment story that allows your thing to look coherent. Everything has to be in agreement, and that is it. So, are there any things that I've missed out? Have you been denied the Canada visa, or you have a friend that has been denied? What were the case studies? What was the notes of the visa officer? Comment on the comment section and let us analyze it together. Maybe discuss on what the person could have probably done differently if I were in their shoes. So let me know in the comments if you have questions about refusals. Also drop in the comments. And do not forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. If you enjoy, remember, I've done a video on UK visa refusal. If you want to view how you can address your UK visa refusal, that video, I'm just going to tag the link up here. So refer to it to watch, and maybe it could help you or your friend. On to the next one. Thank you for watching.